Good afternoon, it's Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this 2012 2-litre diesel 140 horsepower Volkswagen Golf. This car is actually for sale at our Kildare branch. So here there's Maxhall, as you see. There's also a main Honda garage. There's also a Hyundai, and also up the road there's also Mercedes as well. And we also have garages in Carlow where there's Opel. There's also Opel and Naas, Hyundai and Naas, and also Hyundai and Tullamore. So it's a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. So you know if you're spending money on a car like this Golf, you know that there's going to be an after-sales service, because that's why the garage has been in operation for so long. So anyway, this car, as we were saying, 2-litre turbo diesel, 140 horsepower. So first of all, starting off, this Golf is, as we were saying, 2-litre diesel. The first thing on the outside, looking at the front of the car, it has park sensors at the front of the car. And also then on the rear, we'll have a look at it inside. I think it's called like optical parking, something or other. We'll have a look at it inside in a minute anyway. There's also parking sensors on the rear of the car. These two little pipes are always something that I noticed distinguishes the 2 litres over the 1.6s. The nice thing about the 2 litre, I guess, is there's nice power in it, but it's also efficient. But some people reckon sometimes that the 2 litres are probably every bit as efficient, if sometimes not even more efficient than the 1.6s, because you don't have to put your foot down as much to access the power band on it. So I have seen that with different cars in the garage here, so it's quite plausible. This car is just about finished NCT, so we are actually now putting it through a brand new NCT, so there will be an NCT on this car until 2020. Road tax for the year on a car like this is €270. And from what I know from, I suppose, trading in Golfs over the last couple of years, in these 2 litres, there's usually going to run in the region of 50 to 55 miles per gallon very easily, and then if you're frugal, you'll be over 60 plus miles per gallon. The car is in very nice condition throughout, so if we start at the rear of the car, looking at rear screen is good, the boot lid is in nice condition, down on the right hand side quarter panel, down the 2 doors, this wheel is in nice condition through here, and moving along up to the front of the car, this wheel is also in nice condition too, onto that wing even, around to the front of the car. Bumper is in nice condition. Black car, so there is a couple of stone chips on the front. It is just completely normal on a car like this. And then down the passenger side of the car, wing and 2 doors and onto the quarter panel, look to be in very nice condition too. The wheels, so the rear right was good condition. Front left, tiny little bit of a curb mark just along here, which I would expect on a 2012 car. And then this one over here is in nice condition overall. Tiny little curb mark down through here as well, so you would expect that. So that is the outside of the car so far. In terms of the roof, it's in good condition too. Let's have a look in the boot. So the boot of the car, the materials on the boot look to be in good condition throughout. The boot's very, very deep actually. So compared to some of the other cars we sell, actually that is quite a big boot. Spare wheel down underneath, all nice and dry, which is good. So that would suggest that there's no moisture getting into the boot of the car. In terms of the rear seats, space is good in a Golf. So child locks along the back, electrics for rear doors along through here, tweeters in through here, speakers I'm assuming down low. Carpet set is in nice condition, the back of the seats is in nice condition, there's ventilation for the rear passengers. Again, the car needs a full clean up, so it's had a quick clean since it came in. 3 3-point safety belts, 3 head restraints, big armrest in the centre, and then even for space, if I was to sit in the car. So I'm 6 foot and this looks quite comfortable all the way down through here, and I still got space, and that's exactly how I'd sit in the front of the car, so all pretty good. Lights up through here, plenty of headroom actually, so I can see why Golfs are very, very popular. They're good all-rounder. So up onto driver's door card. God, actually one thing I forgot to do was on the back, that door card over there is in nice condition too, and the roof looks in good condition too. So as I said, driver's door card is good over here. Seat over here is nice condition, so sometimes you'll see these kind of bucket style seats on a Golf. They're very comfortable, but they do wear depending on the previous owner's size. So that one's in nice condition throughout, as is the passenger side over there. Onto the floor, and floor over here, a little bit dirty unfortunately from my feet in through here. So heated wing mirrors, controls for windows, front and rear, centre locking in through here. And then after that there is automatic lights, so they'll come on automatically. So daytime running lights normally, and then after that we turn on parkers and fulls and all that kind of stuff. Brightness of the dash, height of the lights. multifunction display in through here. So if I press OK, it is allowing me to get information like consumption, how our oil temperature is, current speed of the car, distance we've travelled, all that kind of stuff down through there. And then over here we do have Bluetooth functionality in through here as well. As we were saying, there is a park system, so there's nice gearbox on these 6 forward gears. So I'm just going to drive forward towards this wall beside that Passat. So okay, I'm going to have to mount a curb here. Maybe not. There's probably a better way to do this, so apologies about this. So if we're going backwards, we now have this camera behind us, and we're going to back up towards this expensive looking white Mercedes. What's happening? Okay, so there is stuff happening here now, so we can say yes, we're getting closer. So that works pretty easily into first gear and over towards these. God, why am I picking such expensive targets? And forward. I don't know if it actually works dead straight. I'm going to try it on the right front of the car. I think that might be how it works on these, or possibly not. So now that I've actually figured out how to work the parking sensors at the front, again, if I drive towards this car over here, so the problem was actually one of the sensors was a little bit of dirt around it. It actually wasn't allowed to function properly. Anyway, back to that. So if I drive straight towards what we have over here, which is this fence, all operational. So just whatever way I was facing that wall, but I don't think it was close enough to the wall anyway, and then to the car it was slightly at a weird angle. So anyway, parking sensors, they're not perfect. They are literally just an assist. They can't do everything for you. You still got to use your brain. This steering wheel, up, down, in, out. After that then, heating controls over here for things like air conditioning and warm and cold and all that kind of stuff. As you see, we have the optical park system that we talked about already. We can go to radio in through here, which is touch and all that kind of stuff. Media, okay, we've nothing plugged in there, but if you look down through here, you have, which always used to annoy me on Volkswagens when I used to take them in, and sometimes I'd drive them home in the evenings and there was no way of using a USB, even on fairly new ones. So I'm not sure if this is standard, but on this particular car, there is USB connection and all that stuff, which I found to be pretty rare on Volkswagens in around 11 and 12. Maybe I'm wrong, stand to be corrected on that. After that then, safety wise, you got driver's airbag, passenger airbag. I got curtain up here, I got in the side of my seat over here, and same for my passenger over here and up through here as well. And then all these doors have side impact protection bars, and up front we'll have things like anti-lock brakes. If we slam on the brakes, we basically can maintain full steering with full braking pressure applied, so safety wise it's all good that way. After that then, we also have cruise control actually. Just looking down through here, there is this cruise control function in through here off the steering wheel as well. So overall actually a pretty well equipped car, to be fair. And I suppose for a lot of people that would be interested in this car overall, they're looking at it because it's a 2-litre diesel. Because maybe they prefer the extra power that's in the 2-litre. So let's have a quick look at it to see how it accelerates up the road. One other thing I'm just after saying, this is electrochromatic rear mirror. Basically, when someone comes up behind you at night time, this is actually going to darken itself so you don't get blinded overall. Again, condition-wise, the steering wheel and the gearbox and all that kind of stuff, all quite nice. Sorry, camera work not great there. Also with the car there is a service history, so if we look down through it, the manual and all that kind of stuff is in through here. I just dug out the service history, believe me, one-handed it's not that easy. Okay, 12 and a half, 22, 9, 33, 8, dear, I'm after skipping a page here now, aren't I? And then 46, 88. So there's a jump from here to here because we go from miles to kilometres, I'd say 91, 98. So regularly serviced car all the way through. But as I was saying to you, we have to get the car through our own service department, so at least we're comfortable then putting it through an NCT. So car is supplied with an NCT, with a service done, and a comprehensive service is that. So i.e. we're saying to you, you leave here, you don't spend any money on the car for at least a year, which is including things like, you know, tyres and brakes and stuff like that. If they're needed inside of a year, they'll be done. After that then, we also actually on this car, we sold a few Golfs. Clutches and flywheels can be a problem, so let's get it out there. It is a problem with some of them, and not saying every one of them. And every car has, we sell cars that, you know, have inherent problems as well from brand new. That's just the way it is. On this car, we have changed the clutch and the flywheel already. The reason being, just when it came in, the clutch was a little bit heavy, so it was really just a matter of time before it was going to, need to be done. So we've done that now. So really, when someone's picking it up, there's going to be very little maintenance in the first couple of years, because we'll have done a lot of the heavy, expensive work. Let's see what it's like for acceleration overall. So just using the chest harness along through here, let's have a quick look to see what it's like in terms of acceleration. So if I put my foot down now, the 2 litres a real flyer. So similarly again, say a more real life situation like third gear, you're doing just about 30 miles an hour or 50 or so kilometers an hour. If you put your foot down now in third, there's really nice power in this car actually. And it's really even, it doesn't run out, it just keeps going. So let's just try that once more. So from first gear, nice and easy up through the gears. And the gear changes are good too. Gearbox nice and crisp. Clutch is good, I suppose, but then again you'd expect that because we've recently changed it. And the feedback is good because the flywheel is new. So there you have it. This is, as we were saying, our 2012 Volkswagen Golf, and that is a 2-litre diesel. That car is what's called a match model. So as we see, the car is well equipped. Very, very briefly, 2-litre diesel engine, 140 horsepower, 270 euros a year for road tax, and about 60 miles per gallon. It has front parking sensors, rear parking sensors, and also nice alloy wheels on the outside. On the inside then, as we see, it has things like air conditioning, Bluetooth, cruise control, centre armrest, and condition of the inside in terms of the plastics and the materials, front, rear, and also the boot are also quite nice. And then exterior wise, the car is in nice condition too. As we were saying, if you wanted a car that is, I suppose, nice to drive, it's quick, but it's easy to run, and you want a car that is very, very comprehensively serviced before it leaves the garage, so you don't have really any expenditure which is going to be due in the first couple of years of ownership, then this probably is a car that you could consider. We can do trade-ins on the car that you have already yourself, then we can also do finance on a car like this. So hopefully this car is of interest. So if there's any information you want on this particular car, please do give me a call. Brian is my name, 086 843 1945, or if you come to the garage, just ask for Brian, and hopefully I won't have backed this car into something by the time you arrive. Apologies about the crap camera work, but I suppose it is fairly amateur and it just gives you an idea of what you're looking at. But hopefully the car is of interest. Thank you for taking time to watch.